Welcome to the Monday edition of Liberty Lunch Break, the topic du jour from Off the Wire. I am your host, Noel Olin, aka the Cajun Libertarian. Let me get this out of the way so you can actually see my shirt. And for those of you listening later, it says Dangerous Liberty over Peaceful Slavery. I will also be wearing this shirt for a very particular reason for tonight's very popular live show. Although I may record it, it will still air live. I'm fighting over that right now. Anyway, putting that aside, I hope you had an absolutely fantastic weekend. I hope it was grand and glorious, and you are ready to get back to the Monday through Friday news cycle, which is never ending. There's absolute corruption and destruction, and also hope coming all week long. So before we get started, please like the show, share it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please follow and subscribe to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and basically anywhere you get your podcasts, and leave me a 5-star review, please. Also, you can go to my Spotify for Podcasters account or anchor.fm and leave me a 60-second message that I will play live on the air. So that's always excellent. So please do that because there's so much fun and it just engages you even more on the show. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Do that thing for me, please. Free for you. Only takes a couple seconds. Helps out the show and the movement. So what is the topic du jour? First up, and I have a video of this one, of course. Dylan Mulvaney says it should be illegal to use wrong pronouns. So if you didn't see that one coming, I don't know what to tell you. But here we go. And then just for funny, Fox News' 8 p.m. ratings plummet during first few days without Tucker Carlson. And you can expect that to continue to plummet. And I am here for it. I hope that channel, that network as an entirety just crashes and burns to the ground. They are the last pillar to fall in corporate media that have been propagandizing the public in their own specific way. They're absolute trash. They're just slightly better trash than CNN and MSNBC. That's it. Still hot garbage. I hope they die an absolutely miserable death. And by they, I mean the network, not any of the actual people, right? So let's get into the first one. Dylan Mulvaney says it should be illegal to use wrong pronouns. This is from April 28th from The Blaze. In the October 2022 video, so you can already see this is an older video. It's just now resurfacing because it's from October of 2022. It was currently being shared, or which is currently being shared on Twitter. The 26-year-old took aim at unidentified conservative journalists. I don't think it's just conservatives, so I'm not sure why we're wording it that way. Maybe it's not from The Blaze. I didn't write it down. My apologies. Who have constantly referred to, this is definitely not The Blaze, her as a man, because you're a dude, in the media coverage. This got to be from something else. Oh, man, I should have put the source on here. My fault. I always do. My bad. She insisted, no, that's a dude. That's a he. When we're talking about controversial and toxic people like this, you refer to them as their actual sex and gender and biology. Period. Full stop. You're talking to somebody, in person or on the phone, or if I have them on the interview, I will use their preferred pronouns because I'm not just intentionally trying to be a butthole. But when we're using it in this format, in this context, absolutely you're not getting what you want. 1,000%. And, you're not going to lord over me with your etymological tyranny and totalitarianism. No, go get bent. Sorry. All right. He insisted those articles were, quote unquote, even worse than when people have falsely accused him of being a pedophile. What? Man, the mental gymnastics it takes just to even say that. No, using your biological pronouns, and not the ones you decided to pick just because you want to destroy the English language in all truth whatsoever, is not worse than you being accused of a pedo. And I haven't seen any evidence of this dude being a pedophile, other than maybe you can make the case for the fact that he's like making videos that he's a little girl, but that's about it. At best, that's about it. I'm not accusing this guy of being a pedo whatsoever. I haven't seen no evidence of that at all, unless you're making the mental gymnastics because of those videos. The same thing as here, when he's saying that literally he insisted those articles were even worse than when people have falsely accused him of being a pedophile. That's ridiculously absurd. Unreal. Quote, I'm reminding myself that those people actually feel like they're doing the Lord's work. Oh, I hate when they. Mulvaney said, they believe that their bullying actually is the right thing to do. And I'm the one to blame when I'm just over here trying to live my best life. But you're not, though. You're not just trying to live your best life. You're a fake. You're a paid actor. And you're not being genuine whatsoever. And it's very abundantly clear. This guy is literally a mockery of trans people and women. 100%. No trans people act like him. This has been mulled over many times. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and watch the video.
Like the articles written about me using he pronouns and calling me a man over and over again. And I feel like that should be illegal. I don't know. That's just bad journalism.
It should be illegal to use words that hurt your feelings. Now, is it any surprise to any of y'all that was said and that it will 100% be supported? These people don't care about the First Amendment. You can invoke it all you want. You can say, well, the First Amendment, and yes, hate speech is free speech. Get over it. If you think otherwise, you're dead wrong. Period. Full stop. Hate speech is free speech. Just because you hate something doesn't mean it should be illegal. It's utterly absurd. And so as we continue to watch, and really like the first monumental case, in my opinion, of the 1A being shredded, which is where I was going as we watch the First Amendment continue to be just shredded piece by piece, lawsuit by lawsuit. The Alex Jones one is truly egregious, just outrageously egregious. You can disagree with the man all you want. I've disagreed with him many times. Never watched InfoWars, but I've seen many clips. But his right to speak is forever, right? It's supposed to be cement. You can say whatever you want so long as you're not telling people to actively go hurt someone else. That would be incitement to violence, regardless of what you're hearing on the internet. It's ridiculous. No, you have to act. There's a very strict legal definition for incitement. You have to literally say, hey, X, go do Y to Z, period. It has to be that direct and that specific. So the Alex Jones case is just out of this world. Terrible, terrible precedent. And now you have this. And why on earth? I was going to say why on earth has it just now surfaced? Yeah, probably because Dylan is like a hot topic dude right now, And so he's very toxic, very, very, very toxic. Just a mockery of a human being, just an actor, a performer. He's just a performer. And you can't really, look, I don't really blame him, but don't defend the guy. Don't defend him because he's not part of your camp. He is a toxic dissenter of what you actually believe in if you're of the LGBT community. He's just acting. He's a performer. Terrible. Let's continue. The resurfaced video emerged as Mulvaney returned to Instagram on Thursday in the wake of the mass outrage over his Bud Light partnership. The saga embroiling Anheuser-Busch erupted earlier this month with when Mulvaney, who boasts more than 10 million followers on TikTok and Instagram, revealed he had a new sponsorship deal with the beer brand. Now, it is noteworthy to say that Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch brand as a whole is just continuing to crash. That's a good thing. Regardless of your feelings on why, that doesn't matter. What we want is these corporations to actually feel the heat from their consumers. So when you absolutely betray your freaking core audience and spit in their face, I don't care if you agree with why, but that's what happened. And they perceived it as much. When you do that, you dang sure better feel the heat. And heat must be given. Hold these people accountable. Continue the freaking boycott at all costs. I mean, how hard is it? Just buy a different beer. Don't buy beer. Beer's terrible. But if you're going to buy beer, get a different brand. Easy peasy. Go look up Anheuser-Busch. Don't buy their crap. Continue this. These corporations need to feel the heat. Doesn't matter what decisions they made or which ones they are or which demographic they betrayed. If they're going to betray their own freaking base, then they need to be punished. Absolutely punished. They should feel the pain. So continue that. Yes, please, and thank you. It quickly led to calls for a boycott of the nation's largest beer company, as conservatives claimed the partnership tarnished the iconic brand. Mulvaney went dark. I can't read again. It just happens sometimes. Mulvaney went dark on the social media platform for several weeks as the backlash against him intensified. Every time I emphasize him, it's because they wrote her in the article. It's nothing against Dylan. I'm not bashing him. I'm bashing the people that wrote the article. You cannot give these anti-science psychopaths 1 inch. Do not cede 1 inch of ground. This is where we're at now. They made this bed. Now, remake it and stop giving them any inch of ground whatsoever. All right. A lot has been said about me, he said in the clip on Thursday, some of which is so far from the truth that I was hearing my name and I didn't know who they were talking about sometimes. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You're a shill. You're a paid actor. Anybody that wants to doubt that, go look at his freaking performance on The Price is Right when he was just a gay dude. And as Tim Pool has laid out time and time again, you can go to his TikTok, go all the way to the bottom. No traction, no attention whatsoever until he decided to start to change genders. He just wants to be famous. Well, you got it, homie. You got it. And now it's starting to suck real bad for you because you are a fake. It was so loud that I didn't even feel part of the conversation. So I decided to take the back seat because you weren't part of the conversation. We're calling you out for the absolute horrible human being that you are. That's what we're doing. The back seat is where you should be. Matter of fact, you should delete all of your social media accounts and fade off into irrelevance, which is going to happen anyway, because there's actually no substance or content to what he produces. None. That's why he has to keep going further and further. Each video, each week has to be more egregious and more intense than the last because there's no substance there, no content. So he's got to get more and more ridiculous or else he fades off into irrelevance, which he will. And if it's inevitable, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. As a matter of fact, this is only like the second time I've ever mentioned his name, I think. So I would encourage everybody to stop giving him airtime. I mean, I'm going to. I never really gave it to him in the first place, but some of these people constantly, it's like his name is brought up every day. You're hurting the situation. Ignore him. Mulvaney, who didn't mention Bud Light in the post, said he was doing okay, but was struggling to understand how people have tried to dehumanize him throughout the ordeal. Quote, what I'm struggling to understand is the need to dehumanize and to be cruel. Dehumanization has never fixed anything in history. He said, well, you're not wrong. It's actually made a lot of things worse, but nobody's dehumanizing you, bro. That's not what's happening. They're just calling shots. and they're calling you out for the fraud that you are. You're still a human being, obviously. You just have some seriously bad acting takes. Full stop. And now you're being called out. You made this bed. Now lie in it. And kick rocks. Dylan. Bro. All right. Last but not least, Fox News' 8 p.m. ratings plummet during the first few days without Tucker Carlson, and I am here for it because I hope that media network just absolutely goes down in flames and fast. This is from The Blaze, April 27th. Fox News Channel's ratings for its 8 p.m. time slot have fallen off a cliff without Tucker Carlson this week. Shocker. That's going to continue to get much, much worse. Much, much worse. Excuse me. Fox News Media claimed in a press release on Monday that the network and Carlson had, quote, agreed to part ways, end quote. But the Wall Street Journal cited unnamed people familiar with the issue to report that Carlson learned he was being let go around 10 minutes prior to when Fox announced the news. Ooh, and that is horrible. You are a garbage company, and you deserve everything you get. Toss Bud Light in there, too. Absolutely am here for it. The Associated Press, citing the Nielsen Company, reported that Fox got 1.33 million viewers for the 8 p.m. slot hosted by Brian Kilmeade on Wednesday. That marks a steep decline from the 3.5 million viewers Carlson had last Wednesday. Nielsen noted, according to the AP, this is going to get worse because a lot of people didn't even know that Tucker was off the air. They don't pay attention to the news like we do. So they just turned on their freaking channel and there's no Tucker. They're like, okay, well, what's going on? Maybe he's absent. So then the next day, no Tucker. Then they start to go look into it. This is a lot of them. This is going to rapidly decline and deteriorate in record speed. Mark my words. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll eat my words. But I hope I'm right. The ratings have fallen each day for the first 3 days of this week. Kilmeade scored just 1.7 million viewers on Tuesday and 2.59 million on Monday. See, there you go. Each day, it got worse as people realized Tucker's gone because they just don't pay attention like they're supposed to. So encourage your people to pay attention. This is why we're in the position that we're in right now. Is because people haven't been paying attention for a century. It's the biggest, largest negative drawback from the Industrial Revolution. We outsource our political power and our attention to politics, just trying to keep up with the Joneses. And sending your kids to school. The conservative media personality had apparently expected to return to work this week because as he wrapped up the show on Friday, he said, we'll be back on Monday. That's a quote unquote. But in the Monday press release, Fox News Media declared that, quote, Carlson's last program was Friday, April 21st, end quote. On the heels of that news, some people took to social media to announce that they had canceled their subscription to the Fox Nation streaming service. Keep going. Tell all of your people to cancel. If you're somebody that subscribes to, what was it? Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I have Fox Nation streaming service. Fox Nation streaming service. Tell everybody to cancel that. Never heard of that before, but obviously it exists. The brief video that Carlson posted on Twitter on Wednesday evening at 8:01 p.m. It was 1 minute after his show was supposed to air. Last I checked, it's got over 75 million views. They canceled this guy strictly because he was speaking out against the machine. And Fox is one of the biggest beneficiaries of the war machine on the planet. He was speaking out against it, having people like Jimmy Dore on his show and Glenn Greenwald. They were talking about how corrupt the military-industrial complex is. This is why they canceled him. Plus, Tucker was Fox News. So the Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch family, I think it's Murdoch. They couldn't have somebody being the brand. But more importantly, Fox is just as much a part of the machine as CNN, MSNBC, all of them. Just as much a part. Go watch Tucker's video. It's outstanding. He calls them out big time. The first word he mentions when he says you can't say X, Y, or Z is war. That's why they called him out. Again, Fox News has been one of the, if not the biggest beneficiary of the military and industrial complex in this murderous war machine that the United States has been engaged in for 100 years. That's why they shut him down. The brief video that Carlson posted on Twitter on Wednesday evening at 8:01 has amassed more than 20 million views. Oh, it was oh yeah, this is from April 27th. Oh, it's just crushed that. While the tweet that contains the video has more than 69 million views, crushed that already as well. Quote, this video has gotten over 15 million views in 14 hours. At Tucker Carlson's star is only going to shine brighter and stronger than ever. We love you, Tucker. Republican Representative Lauren Boebert of Colorado wrote in response to Carlson's tweet. I love it. I love it. I hope you die a miserable death, Fox News. The same miserable death that CNN and MSNBC and right now currently NBC, ABC, CBS, all of them are going through it. And this needs to happen. It's independent journalism like this show for the win. Share, like, subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic Monday afternoon and evening. And I am out. Galatians 2:20.